Nigga.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the OPA to OPM podcast. I'm your host, DéMille, with my co-host, Alex and Markell.
Yes,
and what's going on? What's going on? And we have a very, very special guest today. But before we go into that, like,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I was going to say Happy New Year to everyone because I haven't seen y'all since the New Year.
Yeah.
How has the New Year been treating y'all so far?
Great.
Yeah. No complaints, man. It's been a blessing. God has just been working in many different ways. So I'm looking forward to, continuing to do what we do.
Okay, man. I seen how you were traveling throughout the New Year. So how was that?
Hey, make sure y'all go tune in March 1st. Lamont Rose Jr. about to whoop Javante Tank Davis. You heard it here first.
I don't know about that one. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know about that one. I don't know if I'm gonna put my money on that one. But I heard that. But I asked him how he's traveling and stuff. He went to straight to promoting.
I mean that's because I've been working.
I know you were working.
Yeah,
you were working. So
they don't know.
For those who don't know, Markell is one of the Roach's photographers. Or is you are the photographer?
No. I started out as one of Lamont's photographers, and now I'm a part of his management team.
Oh, yeah. My apologies. My apologies.
You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me. Hey, you know what?
Come sign us 222 management marketing. So if you a streamer, play sports, entertainer, anything, professional athlete, all that, we get you right.
All right, sounds good. Alex, how was your New Year's?
It's been cool. Just been locked in AI, cybersecurity stuff. Just trying to really just hone in onto that craft and making sure that, we understand what's going on, because 2025 going to be a year of AI, crypto, and cyber, and all these other different things where we're just going to see so much of the world changing. So I'm really excited for this year.
All right, sounds good. I'm glad you said those things, because those things will play a major part in our episode today. But for those, my New Year's was pretty much low key. Ain't do too much, man. Just relaxed in. I stayed at home for New Year's night, honestly, but
nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with being safe, saving your money. And yeah, bro. And it's been a very good year so far. Very good year. It's a year that we're gonna make progress, personally, professionally, financially, in every way. So yeah. So now that we got that out the way,
without further ado,
that is correct. We have a special guest today. We have Chris. How you pronounce your last name? I'm sorry. Okpala. My apologies.
That's cool.
Christopher Okpala. All right, and he's a specialist in cybersecurity, IT, and he's the host of the growing YouTube podcast, everything Tech Road podcast.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for coming on, bro, guy.
I thank you for all y'all bringing me on this podcast. I'm so excited to be on here. I know we've been talking about it for a minute, so I'm glad to be on.
We've been talking about it
for like a month or two.
Yeah.
Nah, it's been longer than that.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, so I appreciate you, man. A lot of people say they're going to come on, then, I ain't going to say life happens, so things can get in the way. But I appreciate you being a man of your word and being here and blessing our audience with some education and some free game that they can use for the new year.
I feel like that was a slight sneak to
I got something
on the other side. Yeah, there you go.
A little fuzzy shit.
That's what happened when you wear brand new. Brand new.
Yeah, you straight.
That's cyber money.
So I added all that stuff out. So you all good.
Huh? That's cool. I got you. Cool. I know how I be. Y'all I know how to go behind the scenes.
So, how was your New Year?
Man, my New Year was great. This is a good year. Last year the podcast was going crazy. This year's going to go even more crazy. AI is about to be the new for this year. Cybersecurity AI. So I just can't wait to learn as much as I can for this year. And then it's going to be a new year, new money.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
So I can't wait for that.
I like that. Damn self.
Yeah,
I like that talk.
So walk us through your journey, how you got into tech, like what it's about, like what inspired you to get into the industry and everything about that.
Yeah, so just to sum it up, I'm from the area. I'm from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
I grew up around Kenilworth.
The Commanders?
Yeah, Commanders. Hey,
Kenilworth.
No, I don't want to say Commander, but I'll give it to you, the Commanders, just to be respectful.
Okay. Me.
Go Detroit.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, watch them out. Okay.
We'll see about that.
You work from Paradise?
No, where, 49th?
Yeah.
from Quarles, right there.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 49th, yeah.
I thought you meant like Kenner over there by Paradise.
Nah,
I was gonna say, bro. I was gonna say that's
Minnesota.
Yeah,
That's around Minnesota.
I thought that was all for Kenilworth, right? Ain't it?
That's the other side.
Paradise, nah.
Okay. My fault. For those that don't know, those are different neighborhoods in Washington D.C. So
neighborhoods, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
No, I'm from Washington D.C. area. I've been growing up in this area for a very long time. I've been here my whole life. I've seen this area change.
Right.
And back in that day, it was just a straight hood. I'm gonna be honest with you. You couldn't ride the metro. I'm in the high school, fights, people getting robbed. And to be honest with you, I didn't think it was a way out, but I always seen tech as a way to start your life over,
Right.
where the money was at. And when I was in college, I majored in criminal justice. So I'm in criminal justice. I'm learning this. But when I got out, I was like, there's no career with this stuff. I got into government contracting. I wasn't in the gov tech space at the time. I was in government contracting. And I'm like doing all these odd jobs. Y'all know how it be. You just do these odd jobs, whatever's a contract. And I'm like, I'm making like $50K a year. I ain't making no money. I'm trying to go on trips. I'm watching everybody else going on trips.
Right.
Everybody with their girls having a good time. And I'm just here scrolling and looking. I'm like, I got to get some money.
Right.
So, originally I was like, what I'm going to do? So I wanted to get into cybersecurity. So I was like, how I'm going to get into it? So the first thing I thought was, let me get my master's. I got my master's. I couldn't get no job. I couldn't get no job with a master's. I spent like 20, 30 bands trying to get this.
Damn.
I ain't get no job. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't work. So once I got my security plus, still couldn't get a darn job.
For real?
Yeah, I couldn't get a job.
What
bro.
That's the first thing they tell everybody.
This was around when was this like? 2016?
Wow.
What?
So it's
I thought it would have been easier.
Not
Yeah,
that long
I
ago.
had a clearance. And I had a clearance too. I couldn't get a job.
And with a clearance?
I think I got my first cyber job when I applied for like 200-300 jobs. So I applied for 200. I still couldn't get it. So when my man, he's in cyber right now. And I went up to him and I was like, how do I get a job in cybersecurity? So he told me just narrow your joint down to like an information system security officer. So I was like, okay, let me do that. Once I narrowed it down, I got my first job in the pandemic. And that's where I first started.
Damn.
Okay.
So what is that, 3-4 years later?
Yeah, so that's about 5 years now.
Wow.
So let's dive into that because I think a lot of people, especially our audience, are either trying to get into tech or they're thinking about getting into it. They don't know how long it's going to take. They're not sure. They might have had a degree in something else, and it's like, I don't know. Is this the right pivot for me? So talk about your journey to deciding to make that change from criminal justice and how long in the process to get into it.
Okay, so when I was so I graduated, I think I graduated in 2016. So I was deciding to get into tech then. So my first thought was I needed to talk to people that's in it. So I'm going LinkedIn, reaching out to people, talking to my mans about it, about how you got into tech and things like that. So the first thing I would tell anybody, first, do your research. What do you want to do? That's the mistake I didn't make.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Next thing I would say, you start getting the information, you learning the skills. Once you start learning the skills of what you want to do, like either you get a degree, internship, learn all the skills. Then the third thing, just start applying for jobs, get those interviews out the way. And then the last thing is just do interviews. But the main thing, you got to find out what you want to do if you want to get into it. And it could take some time.
I was going to say, so is that the reason why it took you to apply for so many jobs is because you wasn't specific enough on what you wanted to do in cybersecurity? Yeah,
because like even that, say I want to get into cybersecurity. That's what people just think. There's so many fields. You got system administrators, or that don't count. That's IT. Yeah. But you got information system security officers. You got cloud engineers. It's so many fields. When people say cybersecurity, it's just a blanket. And if you don't know what you want to do, you're never gonna find a job. I promise you that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said cybersecurity, but you didn't say that's IT. So for people like a novice like me, right, who don't know the difference, what's the difference between cybersecurity and IT? Because a lot of us think that's like a blanket statement.
Or tech.
They mean the same thing. So what are the differences?
So information technology is kind of like the tech. It's something like help desk, like the infrastructure of it.
Okay.
Like building things out, like system administrator, help desk. Things like Linux engineer, those are like IT positions. Okay. Cybersecurity is protecting something. Say, for example, you have a phone, right? And say you trying to make sure, like, so for example, when you're sending out text messages, somebody can use a Wireshark to pick up on some of your signals and get your text messages. You can use a VPN to encrypt it. So that's cybersecurity. You're using things to help protect the infrastructure. That's the difference.
Yeah, people. I bet a lot of people know what the VPN is. You know.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I know.
But that, in a sense, if you start knowing how to use VPNs and start having those kind of conversations, like I think cybersecurity is a lot of just acronyms and
Yeah.
abbreviations, and just like VPN stands for virtual private network. Once you start understanding those things, that's how you start getting your foot into the door, just understanding those terms.
Yeah, like IAVAs or different things like that. And that's the main thing. It's a different language.
So, and I would like both y'all to answer this. I know my general answer because been around it for a minute, but for them, why the hell would I be interested in getting into cybersecurity?
The money.
Money.
I mean, outside of the money though, like
That's
money.
the main thing, money.
But I'm saying like, bro, like
Ask me again.
it's other jobs I could go work and make,
for sure,
make
for sure.
really great money.
Hey, money, I do it for the money. Man.
Money
You see, I'm losing my head, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a stressful job. And it
can be. It can be.
it can be stressful.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I haven't worked in a month.
Okay. The luxury. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's like, so I tell people like it can be what you make of it, because yes, you see me not working for a month and I'm still getting paid like I'm working, but I also put in the work to get all these different jobs and all these different certifications and stuff like that to get to those positions. But I do want to talk about something else that you had brought up, is just the work ethic to get into the positions. You mentioned that you were doing like 200-300 job applications, and
Yeah.
nowadays
sounds crazy.
No,
I'm
that's
dead
normal
serious.
now.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah,
Let's
sir.
take like one step back real quick, because get into that. But when y'all say money, like give us a range. Give them a range.
Yeah, potential. I want.
Oh,
Give them a range.
What's a potential
So,
salary?
like starter to like you and your bag.
I'm gonna be honest with you. So when I first started off, I was making $75K, and that's in the gov tech space.
That's about right. Cybersecurity, yeah, that's about
That's a
right.
starting salary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In private sector, it's probably like $50K. Starting
Okay.
salary. Around
Okay.
50, $60K.
Okay.
That's if you are. I'd agree if you have like, cause like Security Plus, you starting out like 70.
In the private sector?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't worked in it, so I'm just assuming it, because I've been talking to people, it's like 60, 50, 60. That's what I've heard.
So I say these ranges. If you're getting into IT, and IT is just like you said, the infrastructure. Like every time you see the wires in the ceilings, all the little ports that you see that you got to plug into the back, or like even if you had an Xbox or something like that, that's basically IT stuff. Hey, my computer's not working.
Yeah, it's the process and the systems of it.
Basically, that's going to start off around like $12 to $15 an hour, right? And you just multiply that by 2, that's your annual salary. So $12 is 24. That's 24,000 a year. Networking is a little bit more advanced than that. That you're going to start in there like 45, 50. But then cybersecurity,
Shoot, I can't lie. Interns right now, or shoot, I can't even say right now. So 10 years ago, because I've been in IT. I'm an IT specialist right now, but I've been in IT for 10 years now. Shoot, when I first started, I was an intern, bro. I was probably making like 35, almost 40 as an intern, bro.
yeah.
So
That's good,
let me
though.
ask you this,
That's really
because
good.
we're giving out salaries, right? Like, are these like region dependent salaries?
yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Because
Hell
like
yeah.
say if you live in Oklahoma City, I'm
Right.
sure
If you
you're
live
not
in
making
Atlanta,
yeah.
If you live in Atlanta, oh yeah, especially if you live in Oklahoma City, you're not making like. But if you let's just keep it 2 general big cities. If you live in Atlanta, you're going to probably make at least 20 to 30,000 less than if you was living in DC, because you got to also base it off of
Geolocation.
cost of living.
Yeah.
Price of living. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So these numbers, like the
Very.
DMV area is going to be your biggest bang for buck. A place like Dallas, your Californias as well.
New York City, San Francisco.
Basically.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
that's why they
Yeah.
tell, like, especially in like the tech or the cybersecurity or the IT space, if you can find a remote job here or in like California, like one of those like high cost living cities, San Francisco,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it's fully remote
Right.
and you can live somewhere else, like
Right.
that's the way to do it.
A lot of people are doing it, but
It's tough.
yeah, it's tough
it's
now
tough,
because
yeah.
a lot of jobs now are requiring you to come back into the office.
Mhm.
Yeah, at
And
least-
but that's kind of it's like a trick bag though, like because they're expecting people to say no. So it's pretty much a mass firing. It's just they don't have to do it. They don't have to say it because
Yeah.
you're going to leave on your own tuition.
Shoot, one
right?
time a month.
You're going to tell them no, then they're like, all right.
Exactly.
You know
So
what I'm
you're
saying?
losing your job. So
You good.
so that's kind of
Yeah.
tough. It's kind of tough to find like fully remote at this very moment.
In
But
certain roles.
in certain roles.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we were talking about the whole applying to 200.
Hold on, talking about before. I'm sorry. My apologies. Before we go there, because we talked about when we talked about salaries, we talked about the starting salary. We didn't talk about when you in tech for 10 to 15, 20 years.
That's after like 5 years of working my butt off.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the highest you can. You know, that's kind of the upper echelons in the DMV in the GovTech space.
Okay. Do you mind sharing like what's your range?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I mean, you don't.
230.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
Wow. Okay.
Nah, so because with government, you can still stack, right?
Right.
And you can have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, however many that you can handle, kind of stuff.
Now you
But
federal.
Huh?
Now you federal.
so
Okay.
Yeah,
You just gotta go- you just gotta be in different
I just want people
agencies.
to know. Yeah, even if you with different agencies, if you get caught,
if you
they
get caught,
they will
So I
make you
will
pay
tell
that
you.
money back because they're gonna
Yeah.
say you're stealing time from them.
Yeah, I will tell you that if you let them know you doing it, you good. But if you don't, they can.
That's only
fine.
some
Yeah.
organizations, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about like if you're a federal employee. I mean,
Oh, you talking
that
about
mean-
federal?
Yeah, I'm talking about
Okay.
like that means you're not a contractor.
yeah.
Like you work like directly for the government.
oh yeah.
Yeah, having two. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
risky
You
business,
can't
but
do
it
it.
can still be done.
Yeah.
So, at my highest, I was making 140 for one job. And I was a senior security. What was that called? Control assessor, right?
Okay.
Or FedRAMP assessor.
Oh, no, you even better. You in the cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that was the bottom of the pay range for that position. The higher tiers, especially if you have like a CISSP, you talking nothing less than like 190.
200.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
there's definitely some cybersecurity jobs like what's her name? B Simone. She was talking about she was doing Red Hat or something like that.
Yeah, Red Hat. You get a RHCSA cert. You can make $100K right now if you're in the GovTech space, and I can stamp that. Yeah, 'cause it's a good cert. You know, the government's majority Red Hat,
Yeah.
and then people you have to have that cert to do it. So if you have that cert, people, that's some good money.
But the thing is, to answer your question, it gets tough because like once you start getting to that 200, 300, 400, like because now you start dealing with engineers and
Right.
things of that nature, they can start making $200, $300, $400,
Mhm.
$1,000. But then after that, it's just a matter of like, are you cool with people? Because then you start going to management and then director levels, and then you're making $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 easy.
Yeah, I will say, especially for me, like I wouldn't be in the position I am now without like just connections and like talking to people, like even starting at your lower, whatever entry level you start in, talk to everybody, get to know each department, the head of those departments, because you never know, that person might want to pull you in and give you that high paying job you always dreamed of.
Because even me, that's how I get jobs now. I don't apply to Indeed. I just go to my network. They give me a job. You know what I'm saying? I don't apply for jobs.
Send that resume out. Say,
Yeah.
I'm looking
So
for something.
now back to what we was talking about.
Back to regularly scheduled programming.
So you were talking about having to do 200, 300 applications, but nowadays it's like that's standard. Like that's
that's
your
standard.
first week that you got to push out
Yeah.
100, 200.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, because it's so competitive.
It's
But yeah, talk about-
competitive. Everybody want to get in. You can just get your Security Plus. The Security Plus is the gold standard.
Mhm.
But now it's you gotta show people what you can do. You gotta show them labs, things like that. Even on LinkedIn, you gotta show what you can do on LinkedIn before they even hire you. So
I
it's
think
crazy
that's
now.
because people like once they found out about that cert, like people started. I can pay you to take this joint for me.
there's
Or pay
people-
me, and I
Yeah,
take
yeah,
this.
yeah.
So
People
like
that pay you.
people know, like everybody got that joint, and then like when you do go for that interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some interviewers are asking you to speak to the information. They can't speak to it, but they got a
Yeah, buddy.
outstanding score on that exam. So,
Or they come to the job and don't know nothing, then they end up getting fired like a month later.
Yeah.
but that's the thing. Well, I know in the government federal space, bro, they have to train you no matter what. Like, so if you come in day one ready to learn, ready to like be like curious and eager to talk to everybody, like you should last that month because they like no matter what, like they gotta train you. I don't care if you have all the experience in the world, you still gotta go through their training.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
What would
it's
you
up to
say are some tips that you've seen that might help somebody who has like maybe no experience, just got their cybersecurity like Security Plus, and is trying to get in like a foot in the door? What would you kind of recommend?
Just get a job. I
Yeah.
would just my first thing I would just say is just do volunteer work. Just so you can IT work at the church. Anything you can do for free to help get yourself in the door.
Mm.
Another thing I would say, just go on LinkedIn. just type in the career you want to do, follow those people and hit them up on different types of tips they can do. And then the main thing is, I'm on LinkedIn. I know y'all on LinkedIn. I see people posting stuff all the time. Post your journey on how you get into tech. I know people that got into cybersecurity just off of posting what they do. They didn't even have a cert. I know people that don't have certs that's in the field. Yeah, but you're going to have to get your cert.
Basically, so you're saying like what they're documenting.
They just document their journey.
Okay,
that's it. They try hack me. They document their track hack me journey.
Right.
Different things they're doing, and people watching it, and they only see you working. They'll give you opportunity. That's what I do.
So it's like vlogging.
Yeah, it's vlogging basically on LinkedIn.
I can't lie, because I ain't have to get not a shirt,
Yeah.
nothing, food, like Nathan. I can't lie. I got a couple awards now though.
So you were one of those people who know shit when they got in.
Hell no, I ain't know nothing. Like, bro, nah, and I shout out to, his name is Chris Diggs, black guy, might be like early 50s now. I want to say late 40s.
So what you giving like a dating profile?
Nah. I'm about to tell y'all like just how like networking and just talking to people. Like, this is somebody who office I used to go into every time I was down in DC. My office was in further out in Maryland.
Okay.
Every time I went to DC, I would go stop past his office because he was cool with my supervisor at the time. Bruh, he saw my name on the hiring list. Was like, bruh, this kid got something. Hired me, knew I ain't know nothing, bro. And I told him like, yeah, I don't plan on being here forever. I got businesses. Like, I'm gonna run my business. This is like 4 years ago. And he was like, the position I'm putting you in is going to teach you everything about system and processes so that you can transfer it over to your business. I can't lie to y'all. First 2 years, so many acronyms, systems, and stuff. I don't know what the hell, bro. I couldn't tell you what the SOP was to save my life, bro. And it kept coming up in me. And bro, mind you, he got me running these meetings. After 2 years, though, bro, like, and I was like, damn, I can actually apply this stuff to my businesses, and it should just make my business and business for my clients way smoother and easier.
Right. I was gonna say, you bring up a good point. There's a lot of very smart people in tech, right? But there's also a lot of people who don't know what the hell they do.
I agree, and they be the top positions.
Top position, don't know what.
They don't know nothing.
Like one of my senior positions.
So could it be they have leadership? So that maybe like the skill.
No, they just cool with people.
Know somebody, but you can. I mean, you can be a good leader, or like me, I'm just a talking ass motherfucker. So like,
yeah. No, it's a real thing. Like, I got my first cyber job just because I knew somebody, and I was like, "Yo, your neighbor is in this business. Like, do you think he'll mess with me?" He was like, "Yeah." Gave him a call. I was like, "Yo, I'm trying to do this." He's like, "All right, you're gonna need to do this, get this cert, because that's what the job calls for. But once you get that, you good." I was like, "All right, cool." Got the cert, and then I was good. And that's how I got into my current position. It's just the power of relationships is going to be key when it comes to tech, because right now it's so competitive to get into tech. COVID, like I say 2022 and before that, it was kind of competitive,
right?
But not what it is today,
different.
because you had brought up a point. It's so competitive because you have AI and the easy apply and the one click apply and you got AIs that can apply to 1,000 jobs in one day. And now you got all these recruiters like, bro, I'm overwhelmed from all these resumes. I don't know how is your resume 100% perfect fit? So now they're using AI to kick out those resumes that are 100% perfect fit.
I did learn this when applying for the position I am in now 4 years ago. Somebody that sent my resume, who's like a mentor to me, she was like, yeah, her and my mom used to always say this: read over the job description, pull the keywords and phrases from that joint, and put it in your make it fit to your resume.
That's what I did.
Bro, that joint would match like that. Like, you would make the cert and everything. I'd be like, damn, like, that really works.
And they follow the ATS format as long as you put those in a certain way. But it's harder now, like you said. They got apps that can literally apply to 1,000 jobs a day.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. No, that's actually insane. I never knew that.
Bro, I was that person who was applying. I probably applied last year from 2023. I'd probably say like October, November 2023 till about May of 2024. I probably applied to at least 800 to 1,000 jobs.
Good Lord.
And
that sounds so insane to me, bro.
It is, and it
but you were using AI.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes and no. So I was still applying, but I was using AI to tailor my resume.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to apply and I change it and I do this. And I probably do like 10 to 20 applications a day every day because
Right.
I wanted it that bad. And I think that's another thing that we should talk about is just grit. It ain't going to be easy getting the cert.
It's not gonna be.
It ain't easy talking to people. It ain't easy getting your foot in the door. And it ain't easy staying in the door.
All right, so those are all great points. And it's funny, that third point, it's not easy talking to people. I was just in a team training for one of my businesses, and one of the leaders said that. Why is that? Like, I find
That's
it easy to talk to
crazy.
people. Why do people say that, though? Like, or why is it hard for people to talk to other people?
People are introverts in our field, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They don't like
Yeah,
talking.
computer.
The people
yeah,
that talk the
computer
most
motherfucker.
got the highest positions.
Mhm.
Peep that.
But that's because you
Yeah.
gotta be
But
able to relate to
I
people,
think-
and you gotta be able to relate the information.
I think what you're missing is like a lot of people like millennials and Gen Zers, they grew up on video games and tablets and things like that,
Yeah.
so you didn't have to be
That's
social.
facts.
You know, so now when you're forced to be social, you're kind of socially awkward because you don't have that skill to be able to relate to someone, to be able to hold a conversation. You know, so not to answer because we have the expert here, but
No, I'm all right. I'm glad we got the IT and cyber. So I love how, and I do want to check on Alex's point. It's about the soft skills, man. The soft skills get you a job now. All them applications don't mean nothing. You gotta know somebody or go
Yeah.
to one of these networking events.
I think I might have had like one or two jobs. Cap. There's a few jobs where I got from just applying.
right.
But the easiest times to get in is when you have those relationships. Because you got somebody personally vouching for you.
Facts.
And the question is like, well, Alex, how do I get somebody to personally vouch for me? Conferences, like you said, volunteering, asking around, especially in the pocket that you're in, depending on where you're at. Like the DMV, if you ask 10 people, probably about at least 4 of them are going to be in tech.
Right.
Facts.
For the government, or
And you
know
had-
somebody in
And you
tech,
had no
bro.
idea they be making bread, bro.
No bullshit.
They be quiet about it. They be quiet about
That's
it.
what we was talking about.
So can I divert this because we kind of go into something different, but I kind of this is important to touch on. Pause. Yeah,
Land the plane, go ahead.
I say that like you gotta have the soft skills. You gotta know someone to get you in, and you just said about conferences and different things. How often are you going to networking events?
How bad do you
I'm
want
about
it?
to say, how bad you
How
want
do
it?
you bad do you
but
want
for
it?
someone who
talking
really
about?
wants it, how often should you be going? Like how many days out the week or out the month?
how
should
many
you be going?
times-
How
can-
bad you want the job? I'd be going probably
Yeah.
2-3 of them joints. A conference, I'll probably go to at least 1 or 2 because you know when you first start off, you don't have the money.
Right.
So 1 or 2, maybe do some volunteer work to get into them. But definitely go to all the mixers. Go to everything you need to go to if you're starting off.
I wish
Yeah,
a lot
what's that damn app where all the events be on?
Eventbrite?
Yeah, if you're not on Eventbrite every day,
You better be
like,
on that every day.
every day,
So-
before you go to sleep, at
'Cause
night,
there's a
you
lot
better
of
see
free
what's
ones
the
on there.
events that's coming up tomorrow. Like,
So what's some of the conferences that are big for someone who's trying to get into tech?
So GovTechCon, TextGiving,
Okay.
okay,
Diversitech.
What's
That's
the
Diversity.
large conference that's in Texas every year?
Afrotech.
Afrotech. Okay.
That's
that's
just
Black and
I
Tech.
heard that's just a date.
Yeah.
Bruh,
I
I mean
haven't
that's
been, so I can't
that's how
speak
the
on that
joint
one.
was that
Okay.
you sent the other day, the Black Gov and Tech or something like that. That be
Yeah.
at
Black Gov Tech.
at 12 stories, bro.
Yeah, they have one
But
too.
it be low light in that joint.
Olive Garden
Happy
ass, like,
hour. But it's no
But you be-
talking in that joint.
it is, but you'd be surprised. And I learned either heard it from somewhere or heard someone talking about it, where they were talking about going to Monaco, whatever like the big yacht party is over in like Italy or something like that. And they were talking about like, yo, Monaco, yeah. Where they have the yachts and
This is
the
some culture, man.
wrong direction. Wrong direction. That turkey's a little pale over there. But nah, it's you go to these events not to really talk business.
Right.
It's to build the relationship with that person so that they, as a person, just fuck with you. Like, yo, I just like your personality. Just like Kel was saying, he's like, yo, I didn't get hired on my expertise. I got hired on my personality.
Right.
So
That's a great point.
it's
I ain't think about
not
it that way.
it's not, even as an extroverted kind of person, I still stumble from time to time. So it's not going to be easy where you get into these events and conferences and you be like, oh yeah, I can just strike up a conversation. But it is something that if you go enough times,
Right.
You
So,
gotta go.
all right, speak on that though. Being an extrovert and still being able to talk when you need to talk, because that is important, bro. Like
Mhm.
people or the younger generation, even people our age, bro, need to learn how to speak up for themselves, bro.
I agree.
Like, well, introvert or not, bro. Like, why can't like? I think you got to be able to at least have some type of
That
conversation.
still takes confidence though.
Yeah.
Like you have to build that up.
yeah,
Like that's not.
So how'd you build up your confidence?
You gotta speak.
Yeah,
For me,
honestly.
I'm gonna tell you, like, even I'm an introvert. When I first started off, I didn't like arguing with the PMO, the government people. But over time, came tired of them bullying me. And I'm like, I know my stuff. So I just speak up and let them know. They don't do it no more. But I let them know now. Hey, don't play with me. But you gotta speak up.
I know if you gonna say yes to everything I ask you to do, fuck.
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep it.
Yeah.
It
Hey,
is
Chris, go
something
do it.
that because like I think there is the gap between millennials and Gen Zs and boomers and stuff like that, right? Because like the boomers are like, nah, you gonna respect this hierarchy no matter what. Like I'm the boss, or we're management, and you're peons and employees and stuff like that. And so that thought process is something that you have to work on internally,
Mhm.
because once you get to a point where it's like, yo, I'm here to do my job the same way that you're here to do your job, kind of
Facts.
stuff. We're here working together towards a common goal. And so I bleed like you bleed, you bleed like I bleed, like you're a person at the end of the day. And I think that that's what millennials are kind of getting at, where it's like, unfortunately, the lines of professionalism and casualness are getting blurred. But if you can get that personal level with somebody, right? A layer above you, and then like, all right, cool, I did that one time, I got a good connection with them. And you do it again. And then you do it again, and then you get to an even higher position where you're just like, you can just talk to them about basketball games and all this other stuff. You get that confidence to just talk. Like you're just talking to a person at that point, as opposed to, yes, sir, I have the reports, right? Just talk to them like a person, like you talking to your homeboys, but still be respectful.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And then over time, show the humility to be like, yo, I don't know everything.
That's facts.
And once you do that over personal opinion, if you do that enough times where you're just like, yo, I'm a cool person, I can talk about certain stuff, but I'm also here to learn. And as you start learning, you get more confident, like you were saying, like, yo, I know my stuff. Like, I ain't really here to back down, but I'm here to also prove a point, kind of stuff.
Okay. Let's transition back into like specifically more in tech. Yes, I said something about AI earlier.
Mhm.
And I saw something on Instagram or Twitter this week where it said like AI is coming to take in the next 10 years 2 million people jobs, at least, right?
Mhm.
So for those who are looking into to transition into cybersecurity or just IT in general,
Mhm.
like what are some of the things you can do to protect yourself, like to stay valuable to your job?
Now, just straight, you gotta learn AI. If you're in cybersecurity, you have to maintain the cybersecurity posture of AI. Learn that. In GRC, there's so many guidelines that's being created. Study those because it's a good opportunity to make a lot of money.
Right.
And I know y'all see it too. Like y'all just, it's not gonna take nobody's jobs no
Mhm.
time soon
Right.
because it's just not. What I
Bring the
will,
mic closer.
what I will say, it's a lot of automation tools that can make mundane tasks easier.
Mhm.
But right, it's not taking nobody's jobs. It's not nowhere ready. And if it does, it's going to probably take another 20, 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to push back on that.
I don't know. You're the AI guy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 20, 30 years. Might
Probably
be a
like
stretch.
20. Because you got even to train an AI, you got to, unless you have like a Google or if it's like a Fang, they don't have the money to train the AI. Like government definitely ain't about to train the AI like that. It
Oh,
costs
yeah,
money.
yeah.
Nah,
Nah,
fuck
Yeah,
that.
so-
but my fault too. But you see, like a guy like Elon Musk playing political chess, and so the government can just say because a lot of Elon's business comes from the federal government,
Mhm.
so the
Mhm.
government could just say, "We'll pay you for your AI specialties to use them inside the IRS."
Still gonna cost
so
it's
It's
gonna
going to cost too much.
to implement.
I'll tell you straight up.
And
It's
you
gonna
gotta
cost, yeah.
train every single person
okay,
that's gonna stay on.
It's
like,
not. There's not too many companies that can run AI.
okay.
Yeah, just the money wise.
Okay, what was you about to get into?
So I had this conversation with my manager because I was like, yo, I think in the next 3 to 5 is going to start replacing jobs. And he was like, same train of thought. He's like, nah, not even close. I said, dog, I gotta push back because we are in the baby stages of AI, right? AI has been around since like the 80s, 90s kind of stuff, right? We've had AI. But commercialized AI, we are in the infancy stages of this stuff. And so what that looks like is as project management, right? So I'm studying for that kind of stuff. I can create a whole project management, like everything within a matter of a few minutes versus somebody who has 10 years of experience. Like, all right, we got to do this, and do this. I can get 80% of the way there. So now you don't need the program manager, project manager, and this person and that person, all this. Now you might only need 2. Because you need oversight more than you just need the implementation of it. So next comes agentic AI. Right now we're just in LLM AI, right, which is just natural language models.
Okay,
kind of
I'm
stuff.
about to say because we got probably gonna have a lot of analysis.
Break it
break it
down.
down.
All right. So ChatGPT is just basically predicting the next best word to say in a sscenario, right? So give me a recipe. Well, all right, well, you're going to need eggs and you're going to need these things and this, and this. So it's just predicting the next best word. What'll happen is you start training it, but the training is literally just convert. Now it's first it used to be like, all right, well, I got to type all this stuff out and then do this, and this, right? Now training is, all right, I'm going to take this PDF, I'm going to upload it, take this PDF, upload. Cool. It's now trained, right? To that specific, what's called a data set, right? Or just documents. And then you use the ChatGPT to say, yo, give me the perfect script to train an AI bot on these documents, these things to accomplish this goal. It does it. The next stage is agentic AI, which is, all right, now that we have what's called the out of bounds or, whatever that you want to like define it as, I need you to accomplish this goal as long as you don't go out of bounds. And then it goes and does that thing for you. So social media planning, hell, even calls. You could use Bland.ai for calling inbound and outbound calls kind of stuff.
So people like cold calling and stuff.
Gonna be gone.
So you talking about like AI agents? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So basically an agent. So it's like a worker for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a worker that can do the work of, let's say, 10 people at pennies on the dollar, literally, because the agent might cost you, let's say it costs $1 per minute or $1 per hour or something like that to run.
Well, let's even break it down even further. Let's just say that motherfucker is $1,000 per month.
I pay
And
that.
but that's what I'm saying. So let's just say that salary is basically $12,000 a month, and you paying somebody else
$12,000 a year.
$12,000 a year, and you paying somebody $60 a year.
Yeah,
like,
because it's like, well, I don't need a social media manager because ChatGPT can do that, and like we were talking about with the plugins, like I don't need a full-time editor because AI can do it in a matter of minutes, just as good as I need it to do, and I don't need somebody to do this long term because I can get somebody to just manage it short term and I don't have to pay them as much. So that's why I think that, because you got people like me, right, who are coming in and it's just like, all right, we're going to set this up so you press a button and it's done kind of stuff. You might need somebody to manage it, but you pay a management fee. To swing back to what we were talking about, how to safeguard against stuff like this, governance is going to be very key, right?
Yeah.
Because like, and governance is basically just saying, is this doing what it needs to do in the way that it needs to do it, and the way that the government or whoever
policies is definitely going to be very important,
right? And so here's
but we're already behind in like policy.
Oh yeah, we're behind as hell on policy, but that's where the demand is. Wherever there's a falling behind is the demand, and that's what you should study for. So I brought up some AI. Shut up. Some GRC roles that I think would be very useful. Super user, administrator, risk manager, compliance officer, access control manager, an auditor, which is kind of what I do, process owner, and end user. I don't know about that one.
Hey, touch on risk management real quick.
So you saying, hold on, before you go, are you saying like those jobs can be replaced with AI?
Those
Or those jobs are safe?
Those are important.
Keep you employed.
Okay.
They keep you employed.
But
But
I don't think
Okay.
people understand how important a risk manager on a job is, especially for like, let's just say like a company that's trying to put out like a product, like hair products or like food or something, like, bro, it's so many like regulations and stuff like that you gotta prepare for it. Or even like when you shoot in a commercial, bro, like language, you don't want to make sure you say the wrong words and portray the wrong message, bro. That's what the risk manager comes in at, bro. It's like a risk. My man's is a risk manager. That's what I just found out. I'm like, damn, bro.
Now I work. That's what I do currently.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I do it as a career.
Man,
So that's why I'm good. I know I'm good.
Bag,
you know what I'm saying?
bro. That shit is that
Yeah,
bag,
trust me, I'm
so
good.
for someone trying to get into that, like,
it doesn't got to just be in tech though.
Okay.
That's what I was just
before
saying.
you, in addition to you asking that question, can you also talk about, or both of y'all also talk about the fact that there is blanket, the same way that tech is a blanket statement, there are blanket job titles like information technology specialists.
Yeah.
Like talk about like that.
Oh yeah, because that's actually my job title, like IT specialist. But what
blanket.
like comes under that, bro? I'm a project manager. I gotta build out systems and processes. I manage people sometimes. Talk to different divisions. Upload reports. It's a lot that falls under like that one. It is a very general or broad topic.
Yeah, because even with me, like I'm a risk management, or ISO, we can call it information system security officer. It's a blanket term. I'm an auditor. I'm a tech writer. I'm a project manager. Basically, I manage a team of engineers. So it's like in tech, you just blanket roles.
So when you say tech writer, is that code or
So sometimes with documentation, you have to write it in a certain way so engineers can understand.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
That's not code.
No code.
No.
Okay.
No code.
Okay.
Just writing.
Okay.
I do want to clarify on stuff like that. So there's the reason we keep hammering on like the fact that there's blanket stuff in tech is because everything is just so blanketed, right? Tech is a blanket statement. Cybersecurity is a blanket statement. Engineer is a blanket statement or a job title. And so the reason I think we should hammer on these points is because if you say tech, most people are like, well, I don't want to code and sit in front of a computer all day. I work hour and a half, 2 hours a day. Most times. If I really have to lock in, all right, cool, I might do like a 5-6 hour kind of day kind of stuff. But when you're applying to these jobs, there's going to be a lot of blanket statements, a lot of blanket job titles, a lot of blanket whatever. And you might be thinking that you're aiming for one thing and you get pigeonholed into a whole new position.
Thanks.
Or the opposite. You might think that you're pigeonholed into this area because your tech or your certifications is for this, but the whole time you actually qualify for all these other different positions within the tech space.
Thanks.
Is that something that you've seen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you qualify for so many positions. Like I said, my role, I can do so many things with it. And the only thing I will say for risk management, it's not technical. You got to understand the technical wording, but it's not technical when you go into the systems and doing things.
Right.
That's the only thing about
define technical versus non-technical.
So non-technical is more of like reading documentation.
Yeah.
You're kind of talking about it, you're creating it, but you're not in the system. Like for example, if you're in like doing creating scripts, for example, for like Red Hat and things like that, you're going into there creating the script. You're building out the systems, like you're in the system. So that's the difference for technical and non-technical, in my opinion.
And I would say that's how I'm more so on a non-technical side. And if I need something technical done, that's when we talk to our engineers.
So people without technical experience can still get into tech.
Yeah. We're doing non-technical roles, basically. That's what you're getting at right there.
And I think that's a great point because at the end of the day, that's why we say there's so many jobs because people are like, well, where are all the jobs at? I don't see them. It's technical roles where, like you said, you might be an engineer where a technical person, they're hands-on kind of stuff. A non-technical person is like, all right, I have to have a lot of meetings. I just have to talk about these things. And it's a lot more coordination and documentation.
Okay.
And I like that because like even being a project manager, that's what I'm saying. Once you narrow down, that's why it took me so long because I didn't narrow it down. But there's so many blanket roles and different roles you can do. You got to narrow it down. And I appreciate you bringing that up, Alex.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're about like 45 minutes in. So
damn, that was quick.
Yeah, I know.
This is fun. I ain't gonna lie, I'm having a good time.
We've been giving out some good information. So, but before the episode get too long-winded, I did want to transition because you're a content creator as well.
Yes, sir.
And so I want to give you a chance to know tell people like tech woke. Tell people about tech woke. And I guess you started because it's something like this. You want to educate people about getting into the tech field. So talk to people about why they should be watching and listening to Tech Woke.
And talk about your experience and being vulnerable behind that, because I know that took.
I appreciate that's a good. So I'm an introverted person. So when I first started, I was very introverted. I'm watching other people put stuff online. I'm hearing people saying you can get into tech just by getting a security plus or getting into tech, taking this boot camp that costs $10,000, and you can get into it in a week or two. And I'm like, I'm writing in the comments. I'm like, bro, like you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I want to get into content creation. There's a guy I follow. His name's his podcast called Textual Chatter. And his name is Henry Davis. I look up to him in this space. And he's like a nerd. He go up there and do his content. It really inspired me. So I wanted to create Tech Woke because I want people to be enlightened. Because like even when I was doing my career, it got to the point where I'm enlightened. I know how to get a job. I know how to, create resumes. And I just got woke. Like it just woke me up. Like I'm just a whole different space. So that's why I created Tech Woke. And then that podcast I do, it was hard for me because I had to be very vulnerable. I'm a nerd. And like you said, like I didn't like talking and being interactive with people. So it took me over time to even talk about my life. I'm doing a podcast actually this weekend where my friend's going to interview me and go through my whole life. And it takes a lot. Y'all know how it is. Y'all got to be vulnerable on camera.
So how'd you get comfortable doing that though?
I'm just doing it over and over and over again. So I started off interviewing my friends. My first 10 people was my friends, and then slowly start interviewing other people. And then to the point I interviewed probably like 30 people. And then over time, you just get good at it. And then it's nothing. You don't care what nobody thinks, I don't
think there's ever a time where you think that you're perfect either, especially in content. Like, oh, that was perfect.
You're always self-conscious about something.
Like
this could have did this differently, could have did this.
But I think we're always going to be self-conscious, especially if you like want to continue to keep getting better. So you're always going to be a student. But I think it's a difference in reflecting like on what you could have did better and just being like, nah, that joint wasn't good enough, so I'm not gonna post it, or it wasn't perfect, so I ain't gonna post it.
Hey, look, I get into sometimes with this podcast, like sometimes like there's some things, and especially when I do my own content, I do my own content as well. Still, go ahead, man, it's crazy.
No, I'm laughing because I'm like, all right, take 800, and she's like, gotta do it again.
Yeah. So it's like I don't like how I look, so I'm thinking, oh, someone's going to judge me based on how I'm judging myself. So, like, I'm not going to post it, but you don't get better if you don't post it, right?
You got to.
So, bro, this is something I always tell people, like, from just, like, a mindset-wise, or just, like, people that's trying to better their personal life. And because, especially, most of our clients are business people. So, and I tell them, bro, your life, or my bad, your career or your business is a reflection of your lifestyle.
Facts.
Or your life. So, if you're happy in life, your business is going to become that. If you're doing bad, it's going to be a reflection of your business.
Right.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's not the be all end all.
Yeah,
right,
bro.
Right.
Like,
yeah, my fault, Chris. But I did want to apologize because I brought up your podcast on YouTube and didn't mention that you're monetized now.
Appreciate it.
You have over 2,000 subscribers.
My bad.
It's all good. It's all good. But but
they're not looking at
he's like, my bad.
Because I ain't want to dabble with my left hand.
I got you.
Before you continue though, bro, like on that not liking what you see part, bro, you gotta attack your insecurities, bro.
That is very much true.
You do.
No, I've gotten better at it because we've been recording. I want to say we've been doing this podcast over a year now.
Y'all doing great too, bro.
I appreciate it. So I've definitely gotten better at it. Now it's like I still can't talk half the time, but I don't stumble as much as I used to. How I was, stuttering like a motherfucker.
We know how it was.
how I am sometimes.
A little clip right there.
Whatever. But I did want to keep going further, and keep congratulating you. They got me fucking up. See,
damn it, they doing so good.
They got me
doing good.
Exactly right. They got me some. Congratulate you, man, because that is dope, man. Because
we always gotta get better. We always gotta talking to the mic
every day, bro.
Because man, like I said, man, like for someone like me who's been posting content for over a year, not consistently though, and so like I do see that as a huge achievement, man, because you could have stopped,
Yeah.
and you didn't, and so man, talk about like growing that and growing your community.
Yeah, it just took time. When I first started posting, and y'all go through it, you getting like 10 views, 100 views.
We still get about 10 views,
I'm
like on
about
our
to say,
long form
the
video.
10 views be you.
It's
Yeah, that's crazy.
Keep clicking
You, your mom, you know.
You studying how can I speak better on the next show and shit.
Man, you want like what can I do? Like I'm playing around with the editing. Like how can I make this more the start of it more entertaining? It's like
Nah, but over time when you start posting, so for example, the thumbnails, I start getting better with the thumbnails. Just making shock faces and things like that. Then I start the thing that helped me the most. I went to this thing called Podcast Summit. Shout out to David Shans. And
down Atlanta.
Yeah, I went down.
You went
there.
to? Oh
changed
man,
my
I want to
life.
go. I want to go this year.
Yeah, go, bro.
Yeah,
if y'all go to
us.
y'all go.
Us.
Y'all
Motherfucker,
go.
we all gonna go.
So the main thing is just you get. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, my bad. It's something off camera, but I gotta introduce you to a YouTube manager. This is what he do.
Okay.
This is what he do.
Okay.
No, facts. Yeah, but the best thing I learned from that podcast summit, you don't have the audience find you. You have to find. You're already supposed to have your audience and go to them. So once I figured out I want people that want to have a career change, and I narrowed it down on there, that's when I grew.
Okay.
Yeah, so the more specific you are.
Yeah, like GRC. Like I started making a lot of videos on how to get in GRC, and I started getting thousands of views off of that. And then I started tailoring it to cybersecurity. But then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just focus on people that's trying to get in GovTech and cybersecurity, and then that's when it started really taking off. And then I got my first video that I ever got to over 1,000 views was how to get into GovTech, surprisingly, with no experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did to get better.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's hard, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. How long have you been posting consistently?
So I've been posting consistently for an entire year and some change.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. I appreciate you, bro.
It's
Appreciate
hard.
you, bro.
Hey, how does it feel to be like, have that amount of subscribers and that finally have your page monetized?
Man, it feels good, and then also,
Your voice get deeper.
You say it got deep.
Yeah,
I
bro.
don't know.
You sat up and put some bass in the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
And then they're trying to, I think it did.
You changed up on me.
Go ahead.
I was like, what's going on?
My bad. I've been working on my inflections, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
So you
Got my own YouTube page, got my own content. I'm about to start dropping. They seen the pictures today. You know what I'm saying? I look good as shit in the motherfucker.
Go
ahead, my brother.
Ain't
about
got
to be an
no
actor out
cosign to
this
Ain't go that
joint
far.
and model. Nah, what was the question? I forgot what he was talking
Right,
about.
I ain't co-signing that.
Yeah. We were saying how long have you been posting consistently? No, I think you asked.
Yeah, say how does it feel to reach these milestones?
Nah, it feels good. This year I partnered with some people. I got some good people I'm partnering with for the podcast that helped me get a lot of views. And then also I'm trying to do events. And when I go to conferences now, just seeing, I went to GovTech Con. I think almost like 40, 50 people came up to me. And it was like, man, I love the podcast. It's helping me. And that almost made me tear up, bro.
Hell yeah,
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, bro.
So, what are your marketing strategies to grow going forward?
So my marketing. So going forward, I'm probably going to just the newsletter. So
Okay.
going forward, I'm going to start when I do a podcast. I'm gonna give a freebie out. Probably how to get into tech or how to get into cybersecurity.
As a way to grow your. So, what's your? I'm guessing the intent for that is to gather like emails.
Yeah, email. So when the podcast come, I can just send it to them or
Okay.
send a text.
Okay.
And
That
then
makes
that's
sense.
what I'm gonna focus on. I'm gonna focus on that for the whole year, and then just start going to the audience. So I'm gonna start doing events.
You hear that, DéMille?
How so what would you say you should so for us, right?
Yeah.
He just said it.
For us, but we don't have like as large an audience as you do right now. Should we be focusing on newsletters, or should we just be focusing on just putting out better content or putting out good content?
I think you should do both. Just focus on just focus on the audience you want to get. Just build your marketing with the emails, like just build the emails and just keep doing that, but just make better quality, more focused content. I promise you, the audience will come.
Okay, more focus and better quality.
Yeah, just focus and better quality.
Okay.
Go slowly over time, though. Don't get all these fancy stuff, and just slowly over time, so you
Right.
can save money. Because I know y'all
Too late.
man. Yeah.
But you know what though? I don't regret because I want to invest in this because I believe in it.
Yeah, it's about
So
brother.
I'm not mad at investing. Like we got good quality mics.
Yeah, invest in yourself. We
got
talked
good
about
quality
that on a couple
audio.
episodes.
This is beautiful.
Go check us out.
Y'all gave me some ideas just off of this. You know what I'm saying? So y'all doing great.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
You need a guest to come
Yeah,
on
I
your
got you.
podcast.
I got you.
Holla at your boy.
I got
You
you.
need some production. Holla,
I know you. I know you the production guy. Trust me, I know. You need to advance. You be at what was the last one you did?
The gatherings? No, the jump we was at.
At the gathering spot?
Yeah.
What was it at? UPC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The UPC joint.
Oh yeah, I did do UPC. Man, I did UPC a few times. And I did what's our guy that came on the show?
And we're back.
Randall Malfiston.
Oh, for real?
I did his event as well. Malfiston, yeah.
No, I might need you soon for seriously.
All right, man. Just let me know, my guy. Let me know.
Live example of how networking happens.
Exactly. So, yeah. Anyone else have any other questions before we call it a night?
I was going to ask, what's next for you as a person, you as a ISO, and then you as Tech Woke.
Yeah, so me as a person, I want to build my better faith with Christ. Just go to church, read the Bible. Hopefully, I can find a wife, man, to get his. Hopefully, I'm building his empire for wife and kids.
For sure.
As an ISO, I'm gonna probably keep doing ISO for a little bit, but I'm gonna try to get into something more technical over time.
Mm-hmm.
But Tech Woke, I wanted it to be the #1 cybersecurity podcast in the world. You know what I'm saying? Or in the country. So that's the goal.
No, in the world.
In the world. I want to be the #1 in the world. So I got to do what I got to do, but you're going to see me everywhere. I want to be the best and help at least 100,000 to 100,000 people get into cybersecurity. That's the goal.
So what's the timeline for that?
I got 4 years. I gave myself
4 years.
I gave myself 5. 1 year passed. I got 4 more.
All right.
So this is the growth year.
Last thing you had mentioned. I think we've talked about it, but I just want to hammer it home. The ability to switch from role to role, industry to industry, going into government contracting, going into the government, going into private, going into like all these different things, and how you don't necessarily have to be pigeonholed into one thing. Like our parents grew up 20 years, you locked in, you do that until retirement, and then that's it, kind of stuff. Is that still the case today?
No, I would say for us, that's the only way you're gonna get paid. You gotta hop from role to role. You don't have to be in that role forever. And I can encourage people because government is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Private sector might be for you. Healthcare might be for you. So I would tell people just hop and find what's best for you. And if you want to stay, stay. But I would also encourage people to do something because AI. I'm not gonna say it's gonna take over our jobs now. Yeah, not how you feel, but just find something so you can make some money on the side. And that's what I always recommend to people.
Okay.
So what would you say to that last? Let's say that you walk into a room and it is people who are teachers, they're nurses, they're people trying to make that switch over to tech, but just don't know where to start.
YouTube. Hey, let me go back to the beginning. So the main thing, if I'm going to a room full of teachers, listen, what do you want to do? And this is what I do personally when I coach people. What do you have an interest in? And I can break it down from that. Say you want to get into GRC. Okay, I want to get into GRC. Next thing you need to do, what is required of the role? There's 3 different ways you can do it. You can go on Indeed. Okay, we need to know the RMAT framework. We need to know how to do STIGs. You need a clearance. You got to get all that stuff. And then you got to be able to speak to that when you do your interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main thing. If you find out what you want to do, dedicate to it, find the right network around it. Because like you said, the jobs, all these jobs, you can apply to 1,000 jobs, 100 jobs. Find the right network. And that's the best way to get. And that's what I would tell anybody. You follow that rules, you get, because I coach people. And they always tell me, I want to do this, I want to do this. I'm like, listen, bro. And to this day, some people I've been talking to for 2 years, they still not nowhere because they don't listen.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I only do what works for me.
Right.
I don't get nobody no other advice unless I did it.
That's dope.
So for people who are trying to get that kind of coaching, or I guess get in contact with you,
I was gonna ask you the same thing. How can they contact you?
Hit me up on Instagram, Tech Woke Podcast, or hit me up on Instagram at Chris Okpala, or just come on Chris Okpala on LinkedIn. and just reach out to me, and I got you.
Oh wait, you got your own like coaching program?
I'll get them advice. I don't like coaching. I personally don't like coaching. But if you want some advice, just hit me up.
We're gonna talk
I just say, can they book
a
session? They book a session with you, or where can they book a session?
I don't got the sessions right now. To be
Okay,
honest
okay,
with you. Yeah,
okay.
We're gonna talk off
Yeah,
camera.
we'll talk. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when you think about it, it's like just the coaching aspect. That is something that a lot of people are just like, yo, look, I'll pay to get into that.
I might as well just do it then, right?
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
no,
Might
we're
as
gonna
well.
talk off camera. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's like,
my man's coaching program coming soon. Me and Alex about to, take care of the foundation
like,
and the back
you
end of
never
that shit
know
and get that shit popping.
what like network that you personally have. Like, you might be able to get somebody into a boot camp. You might be able to get them some certain credentials that they're looking for, and really just understand like, yo, Chris is connected, but 7th degree of separation kind of stuff. But just hearing your story or the people that you've talked to and their story can inspire somebody because they're like, yo, I fit that description. I'm a nerd or I'm not a nerd. I'm technical. I'm not technical. And when you start tapping and leveraging other people to get into those roles and to get into these things so that you can get into tech, you can become tech woke.
Facts.
That's how you turn other people's audience to other people's money.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. You got any last words? I'm sorry.
For everybody that's trying to get into tech, remember, everybody, just please continue. If you get 1% better every day, just keep doing that. But if you got a dream, just like I told you, find out what you want to do and just keep going.
Sounds good. Thank y'all for checking out another episode. Peace.
Peace.
I ain't gonna lie. Man.